Pick a card. What do people think and feel when they hear your name? Here are your options, and I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Crystal with Tough Doll Tarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, how do they think and feel at the mention of your name? And you chose this psychic linking image on the right hand side of your screen. So we're going to find out, but before we do, I'd just like to thank you guys so much. I reached 1,000 on this channel, and I'm so grateful for you guys subscribing and just letting me know what you think and all the things. I just really appreciate it. For me, it's a huge achievement. I feel like there's not a lot of people I can share that with, but I think you guys get it. So thank you again. Pile number 1. At the mere mention of your name, friends, what do people think and feel? We have building blocks. That's unexpected. We have breathe. Okay. That makes sense, actually. Let's just stand these guys up. Pile number 1, I definitely feel like people, at the mention of your name, they think automatically, yeah, that's somebody I can throw my lot in with. That's somebody I can build with. That's somebody I can have something long-term with, even if this isn't talking about a romantic situation. But pile number 1, I do feel like this is a lot of people tend to romanticize, pardon me, and think that you have all the material. I don't want to say all the rough material, but all you like tick all the boxes, and they conceiving in a relationship with you. Now, pile number 1, also at the mention of your name, people think that you bring something completely different to the table, and what you bring is a centeredness, not self-centeredness, pile number 1, but a centeredness, a grounding. And I feel like you're comfortable within your own emotions to be able to express those, but you're also getting a lot of crown chakra action right here. Let's see, pile number 1, if we can get in closer, right? So I'm just going to say that I feel like at the mention of your name, people think, wow, that's somebody who is really unique, very different. They are in tune not only with their own emotions, but with mine as well. I'm hearing unique, I'm hearing different, and this to me feels like a flame, even though there's like a lotus right next to her, and another one right here. I feel like pile number 1, when people think of your name, they're like, wow, this person has been on a totally different journey. And I kind of want to think like that, and I kind of want to feel like that. And for some of you, I kind of want to be like that. So pile number 1, what do they think and feel at the mention of your name? We have nutrition. What? So maybe you guys are like dietitians, or I heard health nut. I didn't want to say it, but I just said it. Pile number 1, you conduct healing work through culinary art skills. Culinary skills, sorry. So maybe you guys are artists. Maybe you present your food, you plate it, and it looks very artistic, but it's very healing. And if this isn't necessarily focused on nutrition, then I'm going to say that your language of love is of comfort and of giving and of providing. You could be like a hunter and a gatherer. You could be the provider of the family. But whatever it is, I feel like when you make things for people, you make it with love. You make it with great detail, great focus, and you're sure to put something in there that is special for everyone. I see I'm going to have to close my door because I have an uninvited visitor. Get out. Pile number 1. We have trust. People trust you. Trust your feelings and dreams to guide your career path. I feel like this just boils down to simple trust. People have a lot of trust in you. And with her wearing all the white, I feel like you're definitely connected to the Most High, to the divine, to your higher self, to source, spirit, all the things, right? Let's see what else we have for you. Pile number 1. When people mention your name, what are their thoughts and feelings? We have the 8 of Pentacles. Let's see if we can move things around here. Maybe we'll do it like this. And I'll set those aside. We have the Hermit, yes. So I feel like you could have led a very solitary life. I feel more by choice than anything else. Let's get some more information here. The mention of your name. We have the Moon. These cards are so beautiful. And we have the World. So pile number one, at the mere mention of your name, at the mere thought of your name, I feel like people get transported automatically. And it's very interesting because I feel like everybody, of course, has a unique experience with you. That is a point of like being human, right? But I also feel like there are a lot of commonalities that people love about you. Everybody is drawn to you, almost magnetically, almost magically. And the first thing that I want to say is that you are somebody who, you're a hard worker. You're considered a hard worker. I feel like you take great delight and great care in whatever it is that your hands produce, even if it isn't a paying job, right? If it is a volunteering job, if it is a job that other people can kind of look down on and things like that, right? And to clarify, I feel like whatever it is that you do with your hands, you feel like if I have to do it, it's worth doing well. And I feel like that's your MO, and people love this about you. I also feel like there is a level of like simplicity about you, but that you do it with such love and such gratitude that other people are really taken with it. In other words, like if you were to give somebody a gift, it doesn't have to be like this really big expensive thing. It just has to be super thoughtful, and it could be like a tiny little envelope with like some poetry that you found somewhere random and like some pressed flowers, or I don't know. But I feel like whatever it is, you do it with your whole heart, and you do it with like recognizing other people's hearts. So you don't necessarily like provide things or give in order to give out of your love language. I feel like you try to find that niche that people love, and that it would sit really well with them. And you seek to really provide that. It's almost like very maternal, very loving, very giving, right? At the mention of your name, at the mere mention of your name, pile number one, we have the Hermit. And I definitely feel like you've gone down very, very deep within yourself. And with the Hermit, it's always a journey of one. It's a solitary path. It is a solitary journey to become the most you that you could ever possibly be. A journey to find out from the past what it is that you need to bring into the current situation and the future. And I'm looking at all these luminaries, and I feel like when you've journeyed, right, in your travels, I feel like you see magic where other people see, oh my goodness, I have to go to a cave and it's dreary and it's scary and it's kind of slick, and what shoes do I wear, and do I have to, how come I have to wear this like robe thing? And I feel like those could be like your reactions maybe initially, but I feel like you have so much peace about you, especially with the Breathe card, that you've come full center within yourself, that you now enjoy going deep within yourself and doing a lot of shadow work, a lot of things that other people would rather not do. And I feel like this is really inspiring, hence all the luminaries right here. People are really curious about what it is that you do when you go deep within, when you withdraw your energy. They want to know, they want to be a fly on that wall, like they were on top of my flowers, right? And I feel like it's a great curiosity that you spark among the collective, among many different people. I feel like this is natural, so far natural traits that you have that are consistent, that other people notice, that they love about you. But also that when they hear your name, this is what comes to the forefront. Pile number one, we have the Moon. Look at how beautiful she is. So once again, she's wearing like very spiritual attire. And I just really feel like, well, when you come to mind, how do I say that? Right? This area that we're not supposed to really discuss on YouTube because the YouTube gods don't like it. But she is really decent. I'm just going to say that people think, wow, like her body's very beautiful. His pecs are like really gorgeous, that kind of a thing. You get the gist of it, right? And I'm looking at all of these clouds around your head, and I feel like you could feel very otherworldly, almost like untouchable, almost like you're in your head a lot, and your eyes are closed, like you're not even really concerned with what is here and now necessarily, but that you're tapped into something higher vibration. You are in tune with the Moon. And again, I feel like when people mention your name, people right away think, wow, yeah, pile number one, they are very, very sensitive. They're very in tune and tapped into emotions, and not just their own emotions, but those of people around them. Sorry about my sniffing here. Still trying to recover. So pile number one, at the mere mention of your name. I love saying that because it sounds like fee-fi-fo-fum, right? Who's that baddie? Pardon. So we also have the world. At the mere mention of your name, I feel like this is stating that people know that you will walk away in search of emotional fulfillment. I mean, she's literally here on shore. She walked through that whole cave, and I feel like you've had many, many transformations, which has gotten you to this point where you don't really care. You don't look with your eyes. You look with your third eye. You don't look with, oh, I can spot like this card, that attire, and that bag, and this wallet, and this person has this much. You look with your third eye. And I feel like you also look with spirit at the fundamentals of what's going on there. So you're very much in tune with the other side, with the other world. And I feel like that's what people instinctively know about you. At the mere mention of your name, people know that if it's not for you, you're going to keep it pushing. If it's not giving you emotional gratification, if it isn't open, if it isn't a tide coming towards you and abundance coming towards you. And what I mean by that is an equitable give and take of emotion. If people are stingy emotionally, mentally, spiritually around you, you will keep it pushing. It has no business in your life. And I feel like people intuitively know that, although they wouldn't know how to express it quite, right? And I also feel like this is beginning to look to me almost like a key. Pile number one, at the mention of your name, I feel like people think, yeah, that person, that pile number one, they have the key. They have the key, and I don't really quite understand it, right? Let me pull a couple more cards out. And pile number one, this is my second channel. My first channel is called PsychicMD, where I have over 700 videos for you to peruse. I do have a September 2024 giveaway on each respective channel. You can find that in the community tab in each channel. Show me more, please. Show me what I need to see for pile number one at the mention of their name. What do people think? Ha. Ha. Sorry, you were my cup of tea, but I drink champagne now. Yeah, that you have classed it up, that you have grown up. People think, especially people from your past, at the mere mention of your name now, they're like, wow, I sort of missed the mark. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see how pile number one was going to evolve. We have queens will forever stay better than biatches, right? People see you as being like really regal. Again, there's like a thing with flight here. Almost not that you're flighty, but that you're willing to kind of not even risk it all, because you realize, I feel pile number one, that with the same skin that you enter the world, you're going to exit the world. And so you're not really concerned with like the physical things of this world. You're not concerned with, again, the cars and the properties and the this and the that. I feel like you have come within yourself, and people really understand that if it doesn't become you, if it doesn't behoove you, if it's not gratifying, if it isn't mutual, that you're not going to stick around, that you're not here to play games. There's a certain amount of like inner joy. And now I feel like the sternness is leaving your life. Like maybe once upon a time, you could have been relating more with the Queen of Swords, where she would just chop. I'll just chop you out of my life, that kind of a thing. But I feel like there is a softness about you now that you don't have to do that any longer. That now people really understand about you, that when your name is brought up, what they think about is that you will walk away, that you will fly away, that you will go in search of a better flower, better fruit. You know, if you feel like your energy is unwanted, if you're not appreciated, if you are being taken for granted, if you're not respected, all of those things. I feel like you're in a queenly or kingly state right now, because I read energy, not sex, pile number one. And I feel like that just tells me a lot. That tells me that you're in touch with your senses, duh. But you're in touch with your spiritual side. You're in touch with spirit. You're in touch with the purity of what could be. And I feel like you resemble this remark. I feel like you are dearly regarded and highly respected. And when people do bring up your name, it is with great respect and much surprise that they revere your name. I'm just going to say it like that. And it's not quite what I was thinking was going to happen. But honestly, pile number one, these readings kind of do whatever they want, right? I love this energy for you. I also feel like you have ties to like otherworldly things. You could really be fascinated, or maybe you could be from Asia, some part of Asia, right? And if not, I feel like you could be transported mentally, emotionally, spiritually. When you look at the artwork and things like that, something about it calls to you. At the mention of your name, if you're a badass, you will always have the last laugh. I think that people think this. It's like, you know what, pile number one, they always win. And I heard literally when I had her. So take it however it will. No, you guys, that you're experienced enough to know that these readings are for the masses, as I optimistically love to say. But this is not an individual reading. It's not a personal. So if you'd like a personal, you can visit my Etsy store. In the meantime, I heard that basically people from your past, it's like, well, when I had her, had him, but that's no longer the case. And I feel like they look back with regret and with surprise and with chagrin at actually what you have become, how you have evolved, how you've glowed up. I do feel like also your journey has not been easy, and that is acknowledged by people around you. So when they bring up your name, that is something that is at the forefront of people's minds. Is like, wow, that baddie. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe how much they've grown. Pile number one, a bird on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because her trust, or his, is not on the branch, but on her own wings, his or her own wings. Always believe in yourself. Yeah, you have a steadfastness about you, an ability to like draw upon skills that other people had no idea that you actually have. And also, I feel like you have an ability to pick up skills almost like seemingly out of the blue. You could be in your 30s and 40s and 50s, and all of a sudden you are surfing. You're like, yep, I'm just going to surf. And you get out there and you do your thing and you learn it and you hone it like anything else. And people seem shocked by that. So I love this for you. I feel like you're very refreshing. You're very charismatic as well. But I also feel like you have a very special energy that you don't just share with everyone. That's what gets brought up whenever people mention your name. Exclusivity, luxury brand. That's what you are, my darling. So that's what I have for you. If you like this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Until next time, namaste. Hi, Pal 2. My name is Griselle with Tough Doll Tarot, and I'm here to do your reading. I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell in 3, 2, 1 for additional good juju. I'd also like to thank you guys. I'm all getting choked up. I'd like to thank you. I just had a coughing attack. For being here and all, for really helping me to reach the 1,000 subscribers that I really wanted to achieve. I really do appreciate that. Your time, your attention, and also your comments and your participations. It's very well welcomed. You like that? It's well welcomed. Pile number 2. You chose this image on the right-hand side of your screen. At the mention of your name, what comes to mind? What do people think and feel? We have chaos and conflict. Oh, meow. We have community, disruption here. At the mention of your name, we have practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. And we have family. Loving your friends and family is central to life's purpose. So when people think about your name, pile number 2, I do feel like it brings up a lot of like wild ideas, a lot of wild notions. I do feel like this giraffe zebra animal is looking towards the past, and we have the giraffe looking towards the future, towards community. And so this could be stating that maybe perhaps you left a situation where there was no participation, no direct help. There was no community. There was no real sense of family. And I feel like when people think about your name, especially if this is like your family or people that were considered once upon a time your family. This is family, friends, all of it. It causes a lot of chaos within them. I feel like they're divided. I feel like also they're really trying to identify who they are in this process. Pile number 2, we have community. I feel also at the mention of your name is that people start thinking, who are you comrades with now? Who are you besties with now? If it's not us, then who? If it's not your family of origin, then who? We're back. So the mere mention of your name, pile number 2. I definitely feel like people wonder who it is that you're close to currently. I'm looking at the stack right here. And I mentioned in another reading, I don't know what tribe it is, but there is this tribe where they have what seems to me like a stack of, I don't know, it's like a straw skirt, and they put it on in the center of things, and then they play music and dance to it, and all of a sudden it is said that this gets infused with spirit, a spirit, right? And the thing dances and spins around, and at times it even flips over itself and it stands on its opposite end. And I kept looking for legs. I'm not going to kid you. During the videos, if I can make a note of this, I would love to find it and attach it here. But I feel like there's something that has to do with like pure magic. Like, what is your magic now? What is it that you're after if you left things behind that didn't serve you or that caused chaos and conflict? Or maybe you're leaving behind chaos and conflict, maybe your family, or your workplace, or a marriage or situationship was totally chaotic and filled with conflict, and you decided to be done with that. And people want to know, what is it that you're headed towards? And I feel like you're following your roots. You are, right here with a giraffe, they have the ability to stretch out their necks and look far and wide, a lot further than humans can. And I feel like that speaks about your perspective, but also there's something about like sticking out your neck. It's almost like, well, you used to stick out your neck for us in the past, but now you totally don't do anything. You don't do anything like that. Who are you doing it for now? There seems to be an element of like possessiveness or jealousy there. And then practice. So it's almost like you're polishing your skills and growing. And people see that in you. People see that you are growing, that you are elevating, that maybe you're redefining what friends and family mean to you, what cooperation and tribe mean to you, and also what it takes a village to raise a tribe. That's not even a thing. Sorry. How does it takes a village to raise a child? Okay, here we go. That's more like it. Not me horribly paraphrasing. At the mention of your name, people think battle. People think I want to take you down. And keep in mind, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm definitely telling you what it is that I see here. This is other people's perspective. So people look at you, and for whatever reason, they want to come fight you. And maybe because it's your joy. Maybe it's because you have business attire. You're successful. You're keeping it pushing. Maybe you've left the clouds behind and you're actually finding laughter and fun after a time of commiserating, after a time of being left in limbo, of experiencing chaos and conflict and demise. And I feel like pile number 2, that people do begrudge that. So keep in mind, consider the source, right? At the mention of your name, when people hear it, they think, pile number 2, now that's a dreamer. And you could have a little dog. You could have a lot of loyalty within you. You could have the spirit of a dreamer. You could have the spirit of someone that wants to go places far and wide. And maybe what you're leaving is a situation where people said, no, you can't do it. That's not practical, pile number 2. Nobody does it like that. Nobody moves to Spain and is welcome there. Nobody gets in a caravan with a bunch of strangers and decides to explore the U.S. or other continents and things like that. Nobody does that anymore. Or you're too old for that. Whatever it is that the naysayers have been saying. I feel like at the mere mention of your name, it is that you are clearly a dreamer and you're following your own path. And this causes strife in other people, by the way. That could be part of the reason why people want to fight you. I'm so sorry for laughing. But I just think about my own life, and I feel like that causes people to want to fight me too, by the way. So I'm right there with you. I just feel like it causes inner conflict, and what they don't understand is it's inner conflict, right? Why are you so bothered if I'm doing my own thing? Why are you so bothered if I'm listening to the tune or the beat of my own drum? Why are you so bothered if I'm going to go and break away from the mold and do things differently? Because they're solely focused on you, and they're not focused within themselves. And that brings me to a point of, you have a lot of haters that when they hear your name, it is a Five of Wands. It is an inner battle. It's like, I love you, but I hate you. That kind of a thing. Pile 1, the Star. I told you. I told you. Look at her. She's so pretty. I feel like you are definitely listening. You could be clairaudient, clairvoyant, claircognizant. You could have, look at her beautiful wings right here, definite connection to angels. Pile number 2, I feel like you're connecting to the moon phases as well. I feel like you were divinely led, divinely intuitive, definitely extremely spiritual. And I also feel like you get exalted, like you get pedestaled a lot, and people want to fight you over that, because it's like, hey, pile number 2 is not perfect. Well, nobody said pile number 2 that you're perfect. I feel like, you know, you're not perfect, and that's not, you're not putting on airs, but other people kind of want to fight you, and they're mad about it. They're big mad, right? They're big mad because people trust in you, because I feel like you have an honesty and integrity about you, and a dreamlike quality, and also that you are supportive and you have collaborative energy. And pile number 2, I feel like what comes to mind with your name is that if people don't have collaborative energy, if they're being selfish and tug of war and fighting and bringing drama, to your doorstep, you're not going to have it. You're going to move on. So with this Star right here, definitely you are in your North Node. I feel like you are in the leg of your journey in life right now, where things are actually becoming clear for you, that you are a visionary, and you're starting to infuse those dreams that you maybe perhaps had as a child. You're infusing them into your adulthood. You are actually picking parts that you found in your journey from going way back when, and bringing them into the future and into the current situation. And it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And other people love to watch you navigate life. At the mention of your name, at the mere mention of your name, pile number 2, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the Page of Swords. So pile number 2, I definitely feel this is giving me a little bit of like this vibe right here, right? Sitting in the pilot or co-pilot seat. But I do feel like when people hear your name be mentioned, people think, well, that's a runner. Sorry, I'm laughing. I think about that for myself, because I've shared many times before, if I go places, I'm not necessarily a people person, and I get socially a little bit overwhelmed if it's just too much going on or too many people. And I will actually just take off and not tell anybody. I'll be like, okay, I showed up. Hi, bye. Thanks for the invite, kind of a thing. And people could see you as a runner. But the Knight of Pentacles, which is interesting, it's depicted as a runner. It's the slowest knight. It is the slowest of the court cards, right? And this just tells me, pile number 2, that when people mention your name, what comes to the forefront is that you are slow to deposit any time, energy, and emotion into a situation or an activity, because you're going to want to know all the facts. You want to know who's going to be there, where they're going to be sitting, where they're going to be parking, where are you going to park, what does the landscape look like, is there any entertainment, what kind of food is being brought, what's being served, what are they wearing, all the things. And I feel like unless you have like a plethora, an excess of information, you almost like want to say no to things, right? But you're not going to deposit any time and energy into things that are not productive. Excuse me. Pile number 2, I also feel like what comes to mind about you is maybe your throat chakra has been blocked, because I started choking in pile number 1 towards the end, and now I haven't been fully able to recover in your pile at all, so I apologize for that. But with the Page of Swords right here, what comes to mind when people mention your name is how you are inquisitive, how you are a baddie, actually, how you can actually have a lot of homework, being able to really explore and pick up on things around you. And I feel like here, Palette number 2, I feel like what's mistaken for like really knowledge that you gleaned off the internet and things like that is your intuitiveness, that you intuitively know, okay, that's not a good situation, not a good, you know, whatever, I shouldn't put my eggs in this basket. You don't even a lot of times have to do a lot of research, but that you are very intuitive without gaining outside information. But pile number 2, I feel like people think that you do a lot of research. You could be somebody who does a lot of research, who likes to learn and things like that. No shame in that game, because I love all of those things as well. So at the mere mention of your name, pile number 2, what do we have for you? Ooh, you are so refreshing. I just got this like beautiful breeze from the window. 3 of Wands. You have the 7 of Wands. Saucy. And you have the 7 of Cups. What's up? Pile number 2. So at the mere mention of your name, people know that you are waiting, that you're very patient, that you're going to wait it out. You are not going to, again, deposit any time, energy, and emotion into anything that isn't going to be exactly what you want. You stand on high ground. And at the mere mention of your name, pile number 2, I feel like people sense warrior. Like warrior princess, a little bit like Xena, a little bit of a baddie. I feel like you don't go around touting yourself like, oh, I know Muay Thai, or I know Jiu-Jitsu, or I know Jetta tricks, you know. You don't walk around saying that, but I feel like you are confident in your own powers in order to open up a can of whip bleep if you need to, right? At the mention of your name, people know that you have skills, and they feel like you have a lot more skills than you are actually sharing or showing with other people. Pile number 2, they also feel like at the mention of your name that you have a lot of options, that you have so many options, in fact, that it is ridiculous. Pile number 2, I feel also something about your body. There could be an element of like, maybe you have a nice figure, and there could be an element of jealousy that other people think, oh yeah, she's, you know, like her because she or he is too pretty, they're too handsome, they're too good looking, they have too many options, or they look so sweet that they take the eyeballs from my partner over to them, that kind of a thing. Like, almost like you're stealing attention. Pile number 2. This is my second channel, as most of you guys know, and I want to thank you so much for helping me achieve the 1,000 that I really wanted to get on this channel. It really proves to me that I was shadow banned on my first channel. My first channel is called PsychicMD, where I have over 700 videos similar to this for you to peruse. I do have September 2024 giveaways on each respective channel in the community tabs. And yes, you can enter both. At the mention of your name, a busy, vibrant, goal-oriented woman is so much more attractive than a woman who waits around for a man to validate her existence. Yeah, you're highly independent, highly intuitive. Again, something with your chest. I'm going to say chesticles because I cannot get in trouble for that, maybe, right? But I feel like you have a beautiful figure. You could have a fuller figure, right? But there is, like, keep in mind, there are different flavors for different palettes, right? So we don't body shame on this channel at all. But I feel like whatever it is, I heard thicker than a Snicker. Well, pile number 2, I just feel like whatever it is, it's like you have like an air of defiance about you. An air of, I heard finality, an air of, I'm going to do whatever it is that I want. I'm going to explore. I'm going to adventure. I'm going to go and conquer, and I'm not going to wait for other people to show me how to do it. I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to be able to teach other people how to do it as well. So you could be my pile that goes out to dinners by yourself. I do. You could go to movies by yourself, that kind of a thing. And I just feel like you are really well aware that your time is precious, but also that your energy needs to be deeply protected. And pile number 2, I feel like when people think about your name, they're like, well, this is a lone wolf. I never know what to expect from this, because they do everything by themselves. Oh my gosh, this came out in the first pile as well. You could have been drawn to that. You are my cup of tea, but I drink champagne now. So yeah. At the mention of your name, people think about how you gave your back to them, how you walked away, how you are in search of your glow up, your soul family, your soul tribe, and how you are pursuing your dreams and manifesting them, in fact. That is what I have for you. Pile number 2. Let me know what you think. Any ideas that you have also for readings, I definitely appreciate that. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi, Pile 3. My name is Griselle with Tough Doll Tarot, and I'm going to ring the bell for additional good juju. And 3, 2, 1. Pile number 3, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to take a moment to just acknowledge all of you guys, and thank you for getting the channel up to 1,000 subscribers. I really do appreciate that. Most of all, I just appreciate the knowledge that for my first channel, which is, by the way, shameless plug, is called PsychicMD. I was shadow banned. That's been a very slow growth channel, and I feel like this proved it to me. So thank you guys for making me not feel electronically gaslit. Moving on. At the mere mention of your name, pile number 1, we have Unfinished Symphony. We have Loyal Heart. Not the unfinished business, pile number 3. People feel like they have unfinished business with you. It's kind of funny. I'm sorry, but I just almost feel like, well, I'm not done with you. That kind of a thing. Or it's almost like somebody put you on pause, or they thought they could live a life and do whatever and then come back and you guys would be together or something. It does feel romantic. I like how he said that, by the way. So, pile number 3. At the mere mention of your name, people think you're free to do what you choose. Yeah, that you value freedom. That you value freedom above all else, that you're really enjoying your life, that you are starting to really take flight. I feel like maybe you could be traveling more, exploring more, experiencing more joy. At the mere mention of your name, pile number 3, what? Infinite abundance. Yeah. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. Pile number 3, I just want to also acknowledge and point out, this is literally your North Star right here. I know we don't have a star card out, but this is talking about continuing to follow your life purpose. And the divine is definitely stating to you, I guess this is a side message, that you can do it, that continue going after what it is that you love, what you desire, because what you love and desire wants you as well. And I'm not talking people, I'm talking like that dream, that North Star, whatever your mission in life is in the world, okay? And I feel like keep it pushing, because you will be supported. So if there's any fear there, really work on abolishing those. Pile number 3. At the mere mention of your name, people think they don't want things to end with you. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the 2 of Wands. We have the 4 of Swords. I don't know why, but I love this image so hard. They're all beautiful, honestly, in this deck. And we have, what? The Empress. So, at the mere mention of your name, pile number 3, I feel like people get a little bit lost in a fantasy. And what I mean by that, pile number 3, is I feel like people want to, I heard lollygag, that's interesting. Maybe people from the past have like drug their feet on you. Maybe they slept on you, but maybe they didn't believe in you. Look at how gorgeous this card is. I just want to give an excuse so we can admire it, shall we? Pile number 3, I look at the 2 moons here. If you know, you know, right? I just feel like there is something about you that's quite magnetic, that even in full repose or even fully minding your own business, you could be like reading a book, focus on your own phone, whatever the thing is. People are magnetically drawn to you. I feel like you have a vibrancy and a depth and something like very nostalgic about you that people want to get in touch and in tune with. And the 4 of Swords is all about contemplating what happened with the 3 of Swords, right? It's a step back. It is really healing. It is engaging your body, mind, heart, and soul in order to really heal whatever this is that you're focused on. And people get really curious about you, but also at the mere mention of your name, pile number 3, I feel like people think healing. I feel like you could be a healer as well. Now, with the 10 of Wands right here being depicted, I mean, look at that. It's just wild. It's like Tetris, right? And the 10 of Wands is about burdens. It's about burnout. It's about exhaustion. It's about I've tried everything. I've given everything. I've taken responsibility for other people. A lot of emotion going on here. There's even a lifesaver. Look, let me bring this closer. Pile number 3, this is what I have for the people. Feel like you can lend them a lifesaver, right? In the middle of the ocean where the ship is burning and everything is just a doom and gloom and boom, right? And we even have, maybe these are like vultures, or I don't know what they are, but clearly things are not going well with this 10 of Wands. This is overburdened, and I feel like this is being felt by people that think about your name, who feel like they have an unfinished symphony with you. It's almost like, well, we've always done things this way, ebbs and flows. You know, I always come back to you. You know, that way, just in the end, we love each other no matter what the burdens happen. But the fact of the matter is, pile number 3, that you've carried the burdens, that it hasn't been a we, it hasn't been a cohesiveness. I feel like you're the one playing the piano, you're the one on the drums, you're the one, you know, making the costumes for the whatever, for this event. You're the one sitting on the egg waiting for it to hatch. And look at this. It's like, well, what's going to come of it? 2 10s, by the way, I didn't notice that. 2 major endings. You could have 2 people that when they hear your name, they think, well, this isn't finished, this isn't done, I'm not done with you, that kind of a thing. But 2 massive endings. And these are things that have caused a lot of pain in your life. And I feel like you're currently healing that pain, working on that pain. And when people mention your name, I feel like we have a couple of 2 different camps here. Pile number 3, we think the Empress. People think and feel Empress vibes. And that goes with the infinite abundance for you and the loyal heart. I feel like people think that's the one that got away. People think, wow, this person is really an incredible maternal person. Whether male, female, I don't really care. I've seen and met a lot of nurturing men as well, and I love that. So let's not like sexualize everything. Pile number 3, I'm looking at all the emotion in the back and how connected her crown chakra is to the moon right here. There's something very beautiful about you. I feel like if you are pregnant or in motherhood right now, if you are a mom, something about your connection to that child is incredibly beautiful to watch as well. The way that you maybe hold your tummy, right? The way that you cherish that relationship, the way that you close your eyes and you savor the minutes, things like that, or maybe even the memories if they're grown children. But with the Empress, this is about having abundance. This is this is about, at the mention of your name, people think that you are incredibly abundant, that you have been all of the queens, and now you are the Empress. And I'm hearing, nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. So I don't know where that's coming from, but here we are. At the mention of your name, we have the 2 of Wands. And with the 2 of Wands being here, and she's just kind of looking around, I don't know, she maybe it makes me feel a little bit like Supergirl. Is there Supergirl, Superman? Yeah, something like that. Well, I feel like there's something super about you. Something very youthful about you as well. I feel like you're always looking towards the skies for answers, for optimism, for inspiration. The 2 of Wands is also about having choices. And I feel like currently, when people currently think about your name, think on your name, they're wondering what kind of a action, what kind of movement can they expect from you now? Because you're in repose, you're maybe healing from something, or at a point in time where you're taking a pause. A pause from the claws, I heard. Okay. What do we have? Page of Swords. Yeah, you could have people like spying on you, looking at your social media, getting on your social media, using other people's accounts, manipulating other family just to see what's up, that kind of a thing. They want to know about your abundance. They want to know about your freedom. What are you doing with your freedom? What are you doing now that you're not tied down by my burdens, by the things that I have to take care of, that you're no longer throwing in your lot with me so that you experience full-on burnout? I feel like a lot of you guys are, your nerves are actually frayed, completely frayed, and that's why you ended this symphony. And whatever this blue egg thing was meant, like for you to birth and hatch, you're like, you know what, that's all good. It's not my dream anyways. Pile number 3, what do we have for thee? Pile number 3, thank you so much for subscribing and getting our numbers up. We're at over 1,000 right now. And I just want to thank you guys. And I want to let you know, I do have that second channel. It's called PsychicMD, where I have over 700 videos for you to peruse. If I haven't said that already, if I did, so sorry. Please tune that portion out. We have the devil. When people think about your name, they think about obsession, obsession. They think about their obsession with you. But I feel like that's not really recognized. Maybe only perhaps by people around them. And maybe perhaps by you. But also, pile number 3, the surprise in here is your obsession. I feel like you could have an obsessive nature, an addictive personality. I'm not trying to talk down on you. I resemble all of those things. Pile number 3, I feel like, I used to say, like, you know, I mean, I used to drink a lot. And I put myself through rehab several times. And you guys know that story. But I'm just going to say that I feel like I would say nobody likes a quitter. You know, if I have one, then I want 21. And it's excess with everything. I want to do everything to the 20,000th degree, right? And so I feel like when your name comes up, people that maybe have been in a cycle with you, they could see that maybe you're a workaholic. I'm looking at number 4 right here behind this devil. And so it could be drinks. It could be smecks, right? It could be looking at corn on the cob. Things like that, right? It could be with all this pink in the back. It could be even like obsessing over love. Limerence, right? Thinking about past partners who have left or loved you or vice versa. And you could be drinking that potion over and over on a daily basis. So we want to watch out for that. Pile number 3, what we have for thee is people want to know, what is it that captures your attention? How can I capture that attention? How could I be a part of it? I feel like for whatever reason, you can actually, how do you say it? You can attract. Thank you. I'm like, Griselle, use your words. You can attract a lot of scallywags. With the number 15, I feel like you can attract a lot of people that are like, well, I'm always number 1, that kind of a thing, like narcissistic behavior. And you can also attract with the number 5, they're also bringing chaos into your life, right? Because that's what the devil likes to do. So it's interesting to me. At the mention of your name, people think joy, but I also heard, and don't be triggered by this, pile number 3, you also have haters. I feel like people think that they can laugh at you or whatever in order to hurt your one feeling, right? We don't care what people think. I mean, life isn't easy, and if they have so much time to really focus on you, then that tells me everything I need to know about them. So they have nothing going for them. Pile number 3, I feel like you are a natural joy. I feel like people experience many color explosions around them, meaning that they start thinking and growing and kind of being inspired. My crown chakra is just popping right now. All of a sudden, my head is all itchy. I'm like, stop. I don't know if you guys can feel that as well, but I feel like you bring about a whole bunch of different feelings and ideas and topics that people around you typically don't even think about. And this is why you're highly sought after, by the way, if you didn't know. If you didn't know, pile 3, now you know. Pile number 3, at the mention of your name, people think, wow, emotional gratification. This person, you could have a great sense of humor, a dark sense. I feel personally a dark sense of humor, right? You could pop out with maybe you have a little like silly side or fun side, that kind of a thing, or like I personally resemble that. The number 1414 can be important to you as well. At the mere mention of your name, you could be somewhat in the spotlight. light. This card came out, and I think pile number 2 as well. But pile number 3, at the mere mention of your name, we have the 7 of Wands. People think that you are very, very skilled, very well equipped to handle anything that comes your way, that you are pedestaled, and not pedestaled by yourself, although you do hold yourself in high regard, but I feel like you are held in high regard by many, many people. I'm also seeing an X here. So pile number 3, I also feel like there could be, I don't know, for very few, this is 1 or 2, some black magic being thrown your way. So you might want to watch out for that as well. Pile number 3, but I feel like I heard gestation. So a lot of you guys are actually doing something. You're maybe creating a little mini human, right? You're making a human. But others of you guys are creating like a business, or you're creating a different life for yourself, or you're creating a different vibe for your home, things like that. And I feel like people know that in order to challenge you, they need to try to fight you when you're up the hill. And it's very difficult to attack someone from that point of view, right? So people that don't really like you or appreciate you, I feel like they're just looky-loos. We don't worry about that. Pile number 3, at the mere mention of your name, we have the 7 of Pentacles with this person fishing. To me, that's, I'd never in the land of evers gotten this card before. But I want to say that you really sit with yourself, your stillness, echoed by the 4 of Swords right here. They have no problems like going within. You have no problems being the loner. You have no problem, I heard, being excommunicated or being left out, right? Of the little cliques at work, of the little cliques at school, of college, of high school, of even friends and family and things like that, right? Who needs friends if you have friends like that? But pile number 3, what I'm hearing for thee is that you have absolutely no problem doing your own thing, that you find comfort in isolation, that you find peace, that you find rejuvenation, that you find upliftification. We're all making up words here, but you get the point. You get the gist. I feel like you are definitely an old soul. I feel like you also, palette number 3, could be that person that is connected to many lifetimes. Like you maybe believe in like reincarnation, things like that. Or perhaps when people meet you, they think that they know you. And the last I have for you, pile number 3, we have the 9 of Pentacles. You are definitely incredibly powerful. I feel like you have an air of I can handle it myself if I have to. Excuse me, I'm very competent, that kind of a thing. I feel like the way she's handling, I think, is that an eagle, I think, or a hawk? I don't know, my bird, sorry. Usually it's a falcon in the 9 of Pentacles. Maybe it's a falcon. But I'm going to say that you really do things organically. You don't do things to stay, I don't know, to kind of stay in competition with the Joneses, that kind of a thing. I feel like you could be returning mentally, emotionally, spiritually to your heritage, whatever that is, right? So if you've departed from your heritage, I feel like maybe you're exploring it more right now. And regardless of what people think and feel around you, I feel like you're embracing those parts of you that maybe you haven't been in connection or visibly connected with for a long, long time, maybe ever. And that's what people think about you, is that you are incredibly powerful, very skilled, and also like very devoted to just like doing your own thing. Even if you're connected to someone else, you keep it pushing. Pile number 3, very independent, very luxury. And yes, I feel like a little bit bougie, but more earthy bougie. Like if you had a teepee, it would be like the teepee of the teepees. If you had a cave that you were, living out of, it would be the cave to be. That people would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is even called a cave, right? So whatever it is, I feel like you could even make your own clothing and things like that. But you're very detail-oriented and very much desired within your community. And when your name comes up, people think, wow, I really want them. I want pile number 3. I feel that as well. So pile 3, let me know how that resonated with you. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.